Now it is. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Play Some Video Games, the only gaming podcast to ponder, no, to ask, no, to beg and plead. Linkin Park, can you please stop sucking? We thank you for tuning in each and every week and spending some time with us. This week, fellas, we're on the road to E3, kicking it off. It's the video game Super Bowl's rapidly approaching, and we've brought together the pillars of the Nintendo Shack, the three, I guess, more like wooden poles that are barely holding it together. But that's right. This week we have two wise, lifelong gaming fans whose knowledge and appreciation of video gaming and history goes back decades. And Donnie's here too. Sorry. So, yeah, it's Kevin, Jason, and Donnie, and we're here to talk about Nintendo at E3. We're going to start things off kind of a two-parter show here. First part, we're going to talk about what we already know, what we should be expecting to happen, and we already know for a fact is going to come out and release. And then the second half, we're going to kind of give our predictions as to what we think is going to happen and maybe what we want to happen, whether or not that's actually true. We do have your questions that you all were kind enough to send in that we will sprinkle throughout the show and address in the appropriate sections as they come up, because some of those points we were going to hit on anyway. So we'll just run with that. So without further ado, Jason, Donnie, how we guys doing? You ready for this?
Let's do it.
I was born ready.
My body is ready.
Ooh.
That's what I was waiting for.
Reggie.
I hope we get another Reggie.
Do they still do what the heck was the name of that company? They did it all.
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Yeah, the Fils-Aimé. But what was I can't remember the studio that puts all that crap together.
I know Robot Chicken did one year.
Yeah, Robot Chicken did the direct, but the Fils-Aimé was awesome. I love the Fils-Aimé. That was so great.
If you don't know what we're talking about, kids, go hit up YouTube. I'm sure you can find the old.
I have to look it up now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jason's clackety clack clack. What is this? Fluxapose?
The hell did you spell Reggie's last name?
FILS dash and then something else.
I got it. It was. Just keep going. I'll interject.
Okay.
It's like Team 18 or something. I keep thinking of a number. Okay.
Anyway,
let's move.
Before we're already off the rails, before we even started here.
Yeah.
Let's kick things off with what we know is coming right off the bat. So I'll tackle the first one, then I'll throw it to Donnie for the next topic. I think we'll go round robin with the topics, I think, here. So first up, what we know is coming, what's already been announced, and they'll probably show off more and talk more about it at E3. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC is dropping. So a couple things real quick that they've already mentioned. Trial of the Sword. It'll be a challenge. Basically, you start you off without weapons and armor. You compete through 45 rooms to earn a Master Sword that, from as they describe, stays fully powered the entire time. We can only speculate that means that it's going to be a fully powered Master Sword that will never break or need to be recharged or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. They're, of course, adding a hard mode, which kind of seems redundant and unnecessary. And the Hero's Path mode that will show the path that you've taken for the past 200 hours of the game if you sunk that much time into it, showing kind of where you've covered on the map. That will maybe help you discover an area you hadn't already seen. The Travel Medallion, which will allow you to make a custom fast point that you'll be able to use yourself. And then the Kakarot mask, the little leaf seed thing, mask things, which is probably, I think, the coolest thing out of this pack. And I'll explain why, because if for some reason you're a completionist that wanted to find all of them, this actually makes it a little more possible.
Yeah, and it's the Korok mask.
Korok, there you go, see? What are you going to do? And then a whole bunch of costumes and not costumes, I guess they're calling them armor sets. They have different themes with Minda, Twilight Princess. You have Tingle, which is a terrible, terrible idea, but Nintendo insists on doing it anyway.
Oh, everybody's going to love
Tingle.
There's going to be Tingle.
So many screenshots on Twitter of Tingle Link.
Tingle is, I'm going to say, he's the worst character to ever come out of Zelda, and that's over Navi from Ocarina of Time.
That can't be possible.
I will listen to Hey Listen a million times more than deal with Tingle. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's very Japanese, and I don't like it. Whatever. So there's a whole bunch of different costume packs coming out, and the DLC pack number 2 with story content will be coming holiday 2017. So they for sure will show you at least something, I imagine, to come out of that. For me, this didn't do anything to sell it for me. Sorry. There's a lot of cool things on there, and I will give it to that. But here's the thing: it's a lot cooler for somebody who hasn't already beaten the game. Okay,
that's true.
That's my thing there. So, like, yes, if I ever go back and want to replay the whole game, then cool, I'm definitely going to take advantage of some of this DLC. But having not just beating the game, but beating the game recently. I'm not about to start all over again. And then really, am I going to use this stuff just to get the couple shrines that I have left that I didn't unlock? Stuff like that. It's not really for me. So it seems a little weird that maybe that this pack should have been out earlier, and then push the story content later for me. That's just me. What do you guys think?
I'm all about the Trial of the Sword. It's kind of got that Eventide Island thing going for it. Where you're going to start off with nothing and work your way up, and that sounds awesome. Especially if the rooms aren't just like battle rooms, which I don't think they are. If it's like 45 shrines that are like pieced together, and you've actually got to do some puzzles and whatnot, like maybe to get past level 14, like you need a fire arrow to burn the leaves, and like you can't use them all in the battle before and stuff like that. If there's some of that to it, like I think it'd be really neat. I don't like the idea of them locking hard mode behind a paywall. That sounds ridiculous. But I think the idea of having hard mode is definitely going to appeal to a lot of people that play Zelda, especially with like all the, the Dark Souls, and that's people like that type of stuff. They made mention in the press release that there's going to be like floating platforms of like bokoblins with arrows and stuff. So like float around with balloons and like be able to snipe you out of the air and stuff. So that sounds pretty neat. The travel medallion, I would like to see where my steps are to let me know where I didn't go. So like I may use it one time just to see and go, I need to go over here. And then the Korok mask, I'm never going to find. I don't even want to try to find the Korok seed.
You don't want the golden poop?
I think the season pass is probably worth it based off of the story content alone. I think a lot of people would probably agree. Like if you're getting this, you're really interested in the story content, but I'll take Trial of the Sword to hold me over. Am I the only one that thinks that like come Thanksgiving or Christmas holidays, I'm going to start a new file and play this game again? Like I'm already kind of getting the feeling I'm like, I'm going to do this again soon.
Jose
syndrome. So much fun.
I think it depends on what Nintendo rolls out and when Mario drops, but I can see you revisiting. But I think if Mario drops and maybe some of the other stuff we'll talk about later, you might not dive right back in and do a whole new thing. I think for sure you'll dive into the story, but as far as starting over from scratch, I think you might put that off if Nintendo delivers the goods.
I think they definitely did. This pack, now that we've got details, sounds a lot more appealing than what it did initially. Like, I think when we first got those bullet points, it was like, why do I want pack 1? Pack 2 has all the cool stuff in. I think now pack 1 is a lot more appealing than what it initially was. Yep. I don't think I want the trial of the sword is the only thing I'm kind of interested in. I think it would be cool to put on the Korok mask and then wander around and find some more seeds. And I am a sucker for more armors and things like that, because that was like one thing I had in this game. I was like, I must have all the armor. Then I realized, all the cool stuff is locked behind the amiibo that I don't have. That's great. But I feel like there is something there. If nothing else, what they've revealed here makes me even more excited for what we could potentially get in the second pack, because that already sounded like the premier DLC. And so if they made this one sound so good, I can only imagine what we're going to get in that one. Quick side note, Mega 64 was the site I was looking for the Reggie Fils-A-Mech. So quick sidebar there.
I hope they do another one of those in like next week or two. I really want to see, because they've done it for like 3 or 4 years in a row. They've had their like, here's our announcement of our E3 digital presentation.
Yeah.
So
that's the best part about the Nintendo E3, but we'll get to that in the proper section. Hard mode doesn't really do much for me, but I mean, I know it's there for people that want it. I'm curious if it's going to be toggleable, because that would kind of sting. It's like, oh, you've put 80 hours in this game. Oh, you want a hard mode? You got to make a new save.
Agreed. It's a little weird, but we'll see what happens with that. But all right, let's move on to the next thing. So we know we're getting more Breath of the Wild Zelda stuff. The next topic we know we're going to hear a lot about still, I think, which some people raise an eyebrow to, but the 3DS and 2DS.
What? First of all, what is a 3DS? Because I don't know what that is anymore.
It's something my kid asked me where it was, so she could play Animal Crossing, and it took us like 45 minutes to find out where it was. So
I am terrified to open up Animal Crossing. I just imagine it's a dystopian state now where like wild rabid dogs or feral dogs are running through the town. Tom Nook is like the only survivor. He's like living on the rooftop.
He's got rabies because he's eating all the other villagers.
Yeah, there's weeds that have taken over. I just hate to see what state my town is in.
What is Donnie? Donnie has some Flintstones chewable
ibuprofen because you're giving me a headache.
I think those are Flintstones chewables.
We are Flintstone kids.
10 million strong.
You guys are killing me. There's nothing wrong with the 3DS. There's nothing wrong with liking the 3DS or playing the 3DS. The 3DS is a great system.
Yes, no, I'm not saying I'm not saying it is.
I know you're not, but you kind of are, and I'm kind of telling you that it's not.
So, but before we let you run with it and talk about the 3DS notes we have here,
I would love to be interested in my 3DS again. I would love it.
Exactly.
I need the software.
Yeah, that's my thing, and we will talk about the software that's coming, and some of it does still seem appealing to me. But then I'm like, man, playing the Switch portably and then trying to go back to the 3DS to me, it just seems like getting your Super Nintendo and then rushing right back to play your NES. It's going to feel like that to me. It's going to feel dated. It's going to feel old. So I hate to say this, but some of these games we're talking about, I probably would have played like a year ago. I don't think I'm going to play anything we're talking about. I really think the 3DS I'm done with, unless Hey Pikmin really surprises me, but that's it.
I think you're going to hate Hey Pikmin.
I think so too.
Vengeance.
I think so too.
You are.
I really think so too.
Let's not sugarcoat it. You're going to hate that game so much.
Yeah, I really think so too. So before we dive into the different titles that we're hitting, we have talked about a little bit previously in the show. So the new 2DS XL has been announced, which kind of surprised everybody. And to be honest, it looks really sharp. It's a smart move, I think, for Nintendo to do this and do this now. The 3D, I think we kind of all can say it's very rarely used. We're seeing titles, Hey Pikmin's one of them that's included, that there's no 3D functionality anyway. So it wouldn't work even if you were playing it on a 3DS. So I think it's a smart move with the better design for the 2DS than the wedge design we had previously. And I think it'll appeal more to the little kids and maybe to the parents who have multiple kids who don't want multiple Switches. You could still have this as an appealing option. So I think it's a good move. So with that being said, we have a couple questions based on the 2DS. So Q owns a 3DS. It's basically a Pokemon machine, he says, which is awesome, but it's not used very much. GameStop right now is willing to fork over $80 in cash or $100 in store credit. Should I go ahead and trade it in? I will say, I'm going to go first. I say yes, because personally, and I think we'll talk more about this later, I don't think you're getting another Pokemon game that you can't get on the Switch later. So shots fired there, but that's me. I say trade in, especially if you're only using it for Pokemon. If you're using it for something else, maybe not hold on to it, but if you really do only use it for Pokemon, get rid of it while it's still hot. Jason, what do you think?
I don't see the point of holding on to a device for one reason, I guess. This is coming to the guys like, oh, I'm going to keep my Wii U. I'm never going to trade in my Wii U.
Me too.
And then there's like, oh, here's the money. Oh, take it all. Fire sale. Everything must go. I feel like if come on, I think it's inevitable at some point we see a Pokemon release on the Switch. Maybe not the next one, but the next one after that. I don't know. But I mean, if you're only... $100 is a pretty good price. Like, as he stated, it's not a XL. He has the standard 3DS. He has the XL. He doesn't have the new 3DS. $100, I feel like it's a fair price. I mean, if you're not using it for anything else, I mean, $100 is $100. That can go towards, almost with the Gamers Club or Amazon bonuses. I mean, $100 can get you 2 games of something else that you actually would really enjoy or actively play. So I don't know. For me, I'd say, yeah, I would do it. I mean, there's this app, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, called Nextdoor. It's like a neighborhood app.
I have heard of it. Yeah.
That. Someone posted on there, hey, I'm looking for a new 3DS XL. If anyone's looking to sell one, and I was like, for a brief moment, I was like, interesting. I don't think I would part with mine because I would like to go back to mine. I just all the software I want to buy is on the Switch. Well, it's coming to the Switch, so I don't want to buy stuff on 3DS. But going back to the question though, I would sell.
All right, Donnie, tell him why you shouldn't sell.
I want to tell him to sell it because and the reason is because I know he only plays Pokemon on it, right? Like for us. I know I said this about my Wii U, but I think it's a little different with 3DS case. For me, I really don't know if I'll ever get rid of my 3DS because, one, it's not worth that much. I'm not going to get $700 out of my 3DS collection.
You already sold your good 3DS. Or traded.
No, I did not. The new 3DS with faceplates is the best one to have.
Oh, not the Majora's Mask limited edition.
I have 12 sets of faceplates. I have Majora faceplates. So because of that reason, I would tell him to sell, but also because of that reason, I tell him to keep it because I think he's going to have something to play on it this fall. So I would tell him to keep it and hold on to it at least for one more year. Because I think but I mean, that is good value. $100. I mean, that's fair. It's just a really matter of, does he need the money to get something fast? Like, is there something that he wants to get that he could use the bonus for? Or also, does he plan on playing Red Dead and Destiny and Battlefront all fall to where if there is a 3DS game announced for him to play that maybe he wouldn't play it? If that's the case, then trade it in.
It's like opportunity costs. I will say that our live chat seems to be slightly mixed, but the overall view is also to trade it in.
Yep, that's right. You can tune in and watch our episodes live on YouTube. We finally were brave enough to tackle that. So next time you see when we start one live, it sends out a tweet. So make sure you join us and have some fun. But so yeah, I think we're actually there's one more question on the 2DS. So Dev wants to know 2DS XL or nah. He's thinking about getting one for his mini Dev. I agree with Donnie. I say yes. I think it's a great starter system for the little ones. A huge, massive library of great games, and it's a much better design than the previous one. So I say I don't think you have anything to lose here in this situation. So I say yes.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like
nice
super tight system. It's small. It's light. I mean, I think the speakers, everything appears very. I mean, it's just like the perfect iteration of the 3DS. So
I feel like I'm in the minority that I always have my 3D on. Like it seems like the general consensus of 3D is not really that used. In some games, definitely benefit.
The problem with that though is that like any new game basically doesn't have it. Like they've more or less stopped making 3D games.
Exactly.
Like
so it's definitely like it seems like it's an obsolete tech.
Right.
So, but I mean, this 2DS, I think it's sweet looking. I mean, I already have mine, so I mean, I don't need another. But I mean, if I wanted one,
it's that hinge. That hinge looks so durable and nice.
It's a much better improvement than over the previous 2DS. I mean, that whole straight.
I showed my daughter. My daughter has the wedge. She had the see-through blue wedge, and I looked up the trade-in value for it. It is $23 what you get it for that.
Wow.
And I showed her the new 2DS, and I was kind of like, you could get like a trade up for Christmas or something. And I kid you not, she is staunchly defiant in that she loves the 2DS. She loves the wedge. She's like, nope, I like it. This is the one I want. We got a little case for it, and she just likes the way it fits in her hands.
I mean, besides, if it's your kid anyway, if she did trade it, she just like 3 weeks later want to trade back and get a second one. So it's fine.
Here's my question though,
the
too.
Kids out of the banter.
When the wedge, they're stacked right on top of each other. I always like to have the angle of the top screen.
I'm with you. I do it too. I tilt it just a little bit.
Yeah. So that's. Mo says that name 7 great games, and Dev just needs to get him a Vita.
So name 7 great games. That's real easy actually. So
yeah, that's incredibly easy.
His counterpoint is remote play.
Why would you need remote play on a portable? You just play it.
Oh, because the Vita is saying you'd be able to play your PS4 games.
Well, trust me, I tried playing Persona 5 on my Vita remote play. It didn't work so well. So,
well, you tried playing Persona 5, period, and you didn't like it. So that's
I blame the penis boss.
Or do you give it all the credit?
No.
All right, moving on. Let's get to those 3DS titles. So, Donnie, take it over because you know more about this stuff. You're paying more attention than I was, especially about
Donnie. Educated. What's coming?
Drop some knowledge bombs.
The 3DS lives. We're getting Fire Emblem Echoes like next week. Interesting about this game.
Really? Here's next week?
I don't know. It's in the next 2 weeks for sure.
Wow, I didn't even know. Okay.
The most interesting thing that I can think about this game, we know that it's got amiibos and we know it's Fire Emblem. We know it's a remake of Fire Emblem and like the new engine. It has a season pass that costs more than the game costs. It is a $45 season pass. Now it's got like 2 or 3 dungeons. It's got hell of amounts of maps. The one interesting thing that I like about what they detailed is it's got a prologue, like story prologue, which I will probably buy because I'm getting and playing this game. But I'm not getting a $45 season pass. I will buy that prologue pack for $7.99 and be on about my way. I don't really know if you guys have a whole lot to say about Fire Emblem Echoes, but I do want to ask you if you ever bought any of the DLC for the other games because I didn't buy DLC for Fates.
I have not bought any DLC for a Fire Emblem game. I didn't play the last two, I guess technically you could say. The last set that came out.
Yeah.
Well, 3, yeah, you're right.
I've got physical copies. So when I mean I didn't play
Right.
the DLC, I actually have Revelations, the cart. It is technically DLC, I guess.
Well, that's true. That's true. But yeah, that last round of Fire Emblem, I did not play at all. But all the previous ones, they did do the DLC and the older ones too. I never bought into it. I was satisfied with what I got, and knowing that I think with this last one, it changed a little bit where the DLC was actually story related. Before that, it was just like additional maps. There really wasn't anything else to get from it other than more maps. So I was like, well, then I don't really see a point in it, so I never did. But yeah, I mean, $45, that's a tough sell. But if you look at it this way, there's only one version of Echoes coming out, correct? As far as it's not like, so there's one version coming out. You don't need to buy 2 games, or in your case, you buy the collector's edition, you get everything.
Yeah.
And if you did, you'd spend that much anyway. So maybe Nintendo's just saying like, why make 2 boxes? Why take up two spots in Target and Walmart? We'll just do one, sell everything else separately, and give people the option. So maybe they're actually playing nice guy here, saying, okay, if you're not a completist, you can actually experience Fire Emblem for half the price you would otherwise. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, it hasn't turned me on it. I would like to play Fire Emblem again, and if they put one out on the Switch, I will probably buy it as long as it's not a $45 season pass. But yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Fire Emblem. I love them, but like I said, I don't know if I'm picking up the 3DS again for any of this stuff.
Jason, you got anything to say?
I've yet to own a Fire Emblem. I was very close to picking up Awakening prior to the Switch launch, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna hoard all my money to spend on wherever I need there. But I was so close to pulling the trigger, and then I almost went in with Fates too. And I think for me now, it's probably going to just be a wait and see until we get a Switch Fire Emblem release. Yeah. I'm very much interested in the series. Like
it's confirmed.
I'd say that the mobile game was the great entry into it, but at least got me more of a taste besides what I've got from a demo.
Yeah, there's no like real story there.
No. But yeah, so I can't really say about DLC. I kind of like. I have to say though, the way that Fates seems like a bit of a turnoff, where you have you have 3 separate games, well, 2 separate games, and then an expansion or DLC, whatever that third component was. I mean, that just seems a little convoluted, if you ask me. So at least
I've heard a lot of people say they're starting to feel the Fire Emblem fatigue, because it's definitely like Nintendo has started. I mean, they found a cheap, and I say this knowing that not all the games aren't cheap-ish game design. Like you can make map packs with those little sprite characters,
right?
You can really duplicate that stuff fast, and Nintendo has.
Right.
I mean, they've basically annualized Fire Emblem like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So and continuing to do so with another Fire Emblem on the way. So I've definitely heard that. Moving on, there was a preview event in New York City, and there was all kinds of 3DS games that were already announced, but some new ones that were announced. And they kind of go into what we already know is coming. Cool. So Kevin's favorite game, Hey Pikmin, is on the way. And it's a 2D side-scrolling Pikmin game. I've heard it often. So I sent you that article from Eurogamer where it said, "Hey, don't be excited about this game." if I can give you the other side of that coin, like Game Explain, which is much nicer on it. They only got to play the first level, so you're hearing a lot of people go, "The strategy of the Pikmin game isn't there." Well, maybe it's just not there in the first level. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I mean, I definitely think this is from the developer that Yoshi's Island. So this sounds like a kid-friendly Pikmin game. So I don't think you're going to get what you want out of it. But maybe there's more to it than just that.
I think right from the start, I was never expecting to get the same gameplay or strategy or style. So I'm okay with that. I just still want it to be good. That's my problem.
And maybe it is. The game that I'm really excited about is Miitopia. Miitopia looks awesome.
It does look fun.
This might be the one game that I could get me back.
This is the game that you're going to boot up the
weird.
3DS
it's just so awesome. And
it is, for those that don't know, Miitopia is Tamagotchi Life. So it's a game where the characters and the stars of the game are your Miis. Except in Tamagotchi Life, it was very much like this little relationship simulator. It was just basically some exchanges between Miis. This is a full-fledged RPG. So it's a role-playing game that casts your Mii and your friend's Mii in a game together, and then they have interactions together, and they're hilarious. So, you just get that little strategy game, and for me, this is a must-get, and I think I'm going to get 3 copies of it, because I think this is going to be at the top of both my kids' Christmas list. So I think by the time the year is over, I'm going to own this in 3 different 3DSs. Monster Hunter Stories we've known about for like 2 years now. Looks amazing. Monster Hunter's real big. This is kind of a Western adaptation of the Monster Hunter game. It's not so much like the Dark Souls RPG. It looks more action adventure. Again, has a great look. So that's coming. Ever Oasis got more detailed. You're going to be able to do a bunch of fetch quests to build up a city and keep doing that. That comes from the team that did the Majora's Mask remake. And then we've got Layton's Mystery Adventure. So we're getting another Professor Layton game and the Kirby's Blowout Blast, a multiplayer Kirby 3D game. And then this came in last week, but I want to make sure they mention it. We have a leak, and it's a good leak, so it's worth bringing up. It looks like there's a Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga game. The one from Game Boy Advance, Superstar Saga DX, it looks like it's getting a remake and coming to 3DS, which makes a lot of sense. Because as I was sitting here preparing my notes for the show, I was like, I think the 3DS has a really nice fall, but it's missing a Mario game. Well, it looks like it's getting one. So the 3DS lives. They've committed to supporting 3DS through 2018, and they just released new hardware. And I know as much as people want them to completely go full-blown Switch, and I do too. I don't mean to say that I don't. You look at the competitive marketplace, I think it's important for Nintendo to have that $100 entry. Right now, they are the lowest barrier of entry to what we call like the core gaming market, right? So, the base PS4 is, $299, probably gets discounted $250, maybe even $200, but still the 3DS is like the $100 range. The 2DS, the new 2DS is $150, the old 2DSs are sub $100. Like you can get a DS and a slew of games, and as long as if there's Pokemon, as we know, it will sell. So I think there's still more life there in the 3DS.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, I think Miitopia would be the only thing to get me to pick up and play again, which is still, I don't want to say strong possibility, but I will say it's a possibility. Depends on what else they unveil for the rest of the year for Switch and such. So, so speaking of Switch, segues. Let's talk about some of the third-party games that have already been announced. This is a snap. Let's talk about some of the third-party games that have already been confirmed. Maybe talk about some of the ones that are highlighted that we're looking forward to the most. I'll just run down the quick list of what we know right off the bat first. So we know NBA 2K18, Skyrim, Lego Worlds, Sonic, Rayman, Dragon Ball Z, Payday 2, Rhyme, Runner 3, SteamWorld Dig 2, Namco Museum, Yooka-Laylee, Oceanhorn, Steep. The Dragon Quest games are coming. Overcooked, Flipping Death, and War Groove are all titles that are on the way. So, Jason, anything on that list tickle your beard?
That specific list, SteamWorld Dig 2, and Flipping Death. I will give War Groove a look. I'm interested in Overcooked, but local multiplayer is something that it only happens rarely for me, so not too high on the list. I'm really like, what upsets me though, Payday 2. I mean, it's like I don't want to see like Wii syndrome where it's like, oh, let's port these old games to this system. Like Payday 2. Oh God. Maybe I'm just jaded on that game because I played it on PC and it was just.
Well, plus when it's a game that doesn't fit anywhere, like who out there was saying, I really hope Payday 2 comes to Switch. Like nobody asked for that. Nobody did. I swear nobody did.
Happy, I guess one positive is it's so drastic from the bulk of most of the games.
That's exactly why I think it's coming.
Right. Yeah, it's more of an adult, a little edgier, a little more violent than everything else we have, but
totally. But once again, nobody was clamoring for that. No one was saying like, gee, I really wish I could play that again. Or
sure, for the first time. Where's Night Trap? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
That's my new hashtag.
Now we're talking. So, Donnie, what about you? What's on your wish list here that you'd want to pick up and play?
Well, at the very top is NBA 2K18. Seth and I have discussed it. I'm expecting it to have, the basic features, standard, general manager, season mode, exhibition stuff with the NBA license. And if it plays, like NBA 2K can play on the go, then that's a hands down win for me. We don't have a lot of sports games on portables, or what I would call good sports games on portables. And if this one can do both, then boy, yeah, I'm all in for NBA 2K on the go. And, I've got 2K on PS4. I've got 2K 15, 16, and maybe even 17. I don't know. I got one for free, and then I bought one, and I may have bought another one on a bargain. Like, I don't need another console 2K. Like, I'm not the sports fan that buys the sports game every single year. But if you're telling me I can play 2K on the go whenever I want, then that's a sell for me. So absolutely that one. I've already pre-ordered Rhyme. I got that Amazon day where it was all, price was all messed up, so I got it for like $22. So, and it's good that they announced the price drop on that. So it's no longer 40 digitally, it's 30 digitally. So it's 40 in stores, 30 digitally. So that matches the other platforms. So that's good. Runner 3. That is my jam. I'm all about some runner and some quick action game. Like, I'm all about that game. And you should mention
a runner.
Really?
I don't think so.
You didn't play Runner 2 on Wii U? That was one of the best games on the system.
No.
No, it's so good. You should play it. Find Runner on PC. It's got to be available on Steam. Play Runner 2. And
hashtag Pirate Bay.
There we go. And
no, I didn't say that.
I listed in the notes the Dragon Quest games. It's good to denote that it's Dragon Quest 10, 11, and Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2. So plenty of support there from Square. Dragon Quest 10 and 11 are like full-fledged open world, like big RPG games. And, if they fill a good void at the right time, I'll be in on those two.
That's it? That's it for your list?
Well, out of here, I mean, I'm going to play most of these. I don't need to go about how much I love SteamWorld Dig and Overcooked and Wargroove anymore.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, like everybody, we're going to get those games. So
I've never played a Rayman, so I might actually jump
so that funny you say. So my list is Rayman because I have not played the collections yet, the Worlds or Legends, whatever it is. So I'll be playing that for sure because that'd be great with the kids and wife too. So SteamWorld Dig 2 is on my radar. Namco Museum, I just want to see what else is on there because we've only seen like a couple titles leaked so far.
Big Dog!
Yep. Ukulele for sure. I've held off on the PS4 version stuff like this. I know it's been mixed reviews.
Yeah, those reviews took me out of it. I'm not even interested now.
Well, here's the thing. From people who just wanted another Banjo-Kazooie, they were all happy with it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something reimagined or revamped. I'm looking for more of Banjo-Kazooie. And they said, if that's what you're expecting, that's what you get. And they are tweaking a lot of the stuff right now. They said it'll all be fixed before the Switch release. So I will probably play Oceanhorn as well. I have not picked that up yet, so that'll be a fun one to play on the go. Overcooked I already have on PS4, but I urge anybody that doesn't have the same struggles that Jason have with local multiplayer.
I have no friends, Kevin. Rub it in. God.
You should go see Guardians of the
Galaxy enough yet.
While you're side joke, guys. Sorry about that. But Overcooked is freaking amazing. It is so much fun to play. It'll get people screaming at each other, flipping tables. Good family fun. You'll test your relationships to the maximum with that game, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, and then Flipping Death's on my radar as well too. Skyrim is a maybe for me. I kind of want to see what it's gonna be priced at. If it's a full 60, nope. But if it's 40 or less, I'll probably pick it up and give that a shot again because I didn't give it a fair try. I think the first round, but yeah,
go back. Can't go back. Come too far.
So all right, so moving on. Let's talk about the first party games, the bread and butter of every Nintendo console, and we know what's coming. ARMS, unfortunately, still coming. Splatoon 2 is coming out. Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2 are all currently scheduled for 2017. And a Fire Emblem game, a traditional Fire Emblem game, if you will, was announced for 2018 on the Switch. So right off the bat, for me, I think everything here is on my radar except for ARMS. But I think I'll literally get every one of these other games except for ARMS. So
even Xenoblade, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah, I want to play
Definitely Xenoblade.
I really want to play Xenoblade. So I'm on board for that. So I'll let Donnie go next so he can try and talk me into ARMS again.
I'm not gonna try to talk you into ARMS. If you're not into it already, you're not gonna be, and that's fine. Me and Caroline will play it and have fun. We'll have fun without you, Kevin. I have Caroline now. I don't need you anymore.
You've been replaced.
Now, what
All right, guys, thanks for listening to Play Some Video Games. It's been great.
What I want to say with the first party games is typically Nintendo likes to run at least through the holiday, as much as I can remember. They typically like to run a first party game a month deal. So when you hear these Nintendo predictions, on all these other shows, keep in mind that Nintendo typically doesn't have like a month where they drop 3 first party titles. It's usually like 1 first party title a month. So if you're thinking about,
it's more like every 3 months.
Well, through the holiday, right? Through the holiday, they typically have like 1. So if you're thinking about that in mind, June and July we have Splatoon, right?
Yep.
Then we have Fire Emblem Warriors, Mario Odyssey, and Xenoblade 2 that they continue to, I mean, they have staunchly defended that game is 2017. Like, they've been asked over and over and over again, and they stick to that company line. Now, if it's January, like Xenoblade X was, I would still consider that it's holiday. It's not going to be 2017. That's close, right? Yeah. So there's really not a whole lot of room for the Animal Crossing, the Metro, and all the predictions. Like, I'm wondering how, because I know this show's going to happen. You're going to get these shows where they're like, rid of Smash and Mario Kart and Metroid, and they're just going to say every Nintendo IP, and they're all coming this fall. It can't possibly happen. No. I don't think it can possibly happen. So it's a pretty packed fall lineup. And you throw in, these third-party games, you throw in a Skyrim, and, we've definitely got a good little run here. In terms of, I'm going to get all of them. So I don't want to talk too much about them. I'm going to buy them all. I'm buying ARMS, Splatoon, Fire Emblem, Mario, and Xenoblade. Yeah, absolutely.
So Jason, you playing ARMS?
I want to.
Are you guys just like against it, or if the reviews are good, are you going to get it?
Nope, still not going to get it.
So now it's just a dogmatic stance you've taken.
Yeah, no, it doesn't appeal to me. If I want Nintendo boxing of any sort, give me Punch Out. That's what I want. Classic, old school. Give me Punch Out. That's what I want.
I want to like ARMS.
What?
Isn't it the Mario Kart team making it? That does nothing for you?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry to keep interrupting you, Jason.
No.
Right. I want to like ARMS, much like in the same sense that I wanted to play Pokken. Like, I think it'd be fun to have that kind of experience on a Nintendo platform, that fighting game thing. For me, I have to because I don't spend as much on games as I used to. I have to over scrutinize my every gaming purchase, and I feel like for not getting, I'm not going to have. I'm not overly confident in Nintendo's online yet, so I don't know what that experience will be like, and I'm not going to have a local experience really, and I don't think there's enough single player there to keep me interested long term. So I feel like my gaming dollars will be better spent elsewhere. So that's the main reason I'm off on ARMS. I hope it does well, because I think ARMS is kind of under the same kind of scrutiny that, like, for instance, Splatoon was. When Splatoon first announced, people were like, well, this isn't going to be good. What does Nintendo do? I tried to make this type of game, and then it went and did, pulled gangbusters on that.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that ARMS might have that same potential.
Are you even interested in the Joy-Cons? Those highlighter yellows?
Not for what they cost, no.
Sure.
It's like a white controller. You don't want that either. So,
all right, let's move on.
So what else on your list though, Jason? Are you picking up?
Fire Emblem Warriors, maybe. I'm definitely being for Mario Odyssey. I've never played a Xenoblade, so I'm not too familiar with that. I guess I really need to see more before I can really weigh on that. But I'm all in on Splatoon. I still have some Amazon money set aside for that, so I probably will put down a pre-order for that here shortly. And I really hope to get more invested in that than the Splatoon, the original. I think playing with the Pro Controller, I think I'm just going to like a lot more than the gamepad. And let's face it, as I've stated on the show before, I'm still a part of a Discord community that was built out of our love for Splatoon. So I expect to play a lot of Splatoon this summer.
All right, so let's move on to the part of the podcast we pretend we're authority and can tell Nintendo exactly what they should be doing at E3 this year. So here's our predictions and what we think is going to come up, and maybe some hopeful and things that we're going to ask for, but we know aren't going to happen. So as Donnie mentioned, every other podcast is going to say, we want Smash, we want Metro, we want Star Fox, we want it all this year. We know it's not going to happen. I'm sure there'll be some things we'll throw out there and try to be a little unrealistic, but let's roll with it. So number one, Nintendo. They're going to do direct? Or are they going to do it on stage this year? What do you guys think? Donnie?
Well, they confirmed that they're not going on stage. Like, they confirmed they're not doing traditional stuff. So it's going to be digital. They just haven't made their big announcements. I think the question should better be asked, are you happy with that? There's still a lot of people that look at them as, because they don't go on stage and they don't do the keynote, that they're not playing with the big boys and they're not doing what everybody else should be doing. And as I've staunchly defended here as a Nintendo fanboy, they should never, ever go on stage ever again.
No, like we thought about that too, and then we got that Switch presentation, and it was a mess. It just does not. They do not. The way Nintendo does business, it does not translate well at all. some of my best gaming memory. Well, I can't say gaming memories, but just being excited about games have come around the Nintendo Directs because I'm huddled over my keyboard with either you guys or my Discord. People are like, "Oh, the Direct's about to start. Oh, we got to talk about everything right now." And it's like there's like a electricity in the air, and it's just fun. And they really like, especially like look at last E3 Direct. That was the last one was where we got the Star Fox puppets, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And look how awesome that was.
I mean, E3 Direct, yeah.
Look how awesome that was. I mean, yeah, Star Fox Zero was terrible, but at the time I was like, yes, Star Fox! And Kevin.
That was the Direct where they basically pushed out all of their half measures. It was like the worst Direct with the best presentation. It was like the best show.
and then before that, like we said, we had Reggie Fils-Aimé, we had that, we had the Robot Chicken and stuff.
Robot Chicken
had
was
this
great.
awesome presentation for how they've done Directs, especially for E3. They really kind of kick it up an extra notch. So I am all about continuing that same method because that stage show. Oh.
I'm the same way as you, and I think
you can feel the ice cubes, Kevin.
So think about when you see a movie trailer, or you see a game unveiling trailer, like even at Sony's live stage events, you see the trailer, you get all excited, and that's because of the production value of it. The Nintendo Directs are done the same way. It's basically like watching one super long movie trailer. They're showing you the best parts. It's already polished. It looks good. You know, you're not going to be able to mock it about feeling the ice cubes and stuff like that. Like it just break it down. It makes a whole lot more sense. So yes, people could say, "Oh, you're not playing with the big guys." Blah, blah. Well, guess what? Nintendo 90 million times over, guys. They've said it. They're not competing with the other two. They're not interested in it. So let them have their moment. And you know what? By doing this, people talk about it more. Like, why does Nintendo keep doing this? Okay, well, either way, they're getting you to talk about Nintendo. Right. So I will take it. I'm happy with it. I'm actually glad they're going back to the Direct. I just don't want them to do a, 30-minute Direct and an 8-hour Treehouse Live of Pokemon. Just don't do that. Give us the Direct. You can do some Treehouse Live stuff you want, but don't cram it down our throats like they did last year. That's all I asked for.
Well, look at last year. All we got was Zelda, so hopefully, hopefully.
Exactly. So, all right. So then the next one, how much time do we think will be spent on previously announced games in the Direct? For me, I don't think we're going to see a whole, well, it's tough. All right. So
you want me to go?
Yeah, because I'm torn on this. They will spend a long time, but they won't.
They are. They're going to spend.
Mario will have a big chunk, but something like Splatoon and ARMS, I don't think will have much.
I think
anything.
They're going to have. I mean, this prediction time, right?
Yeah.
I think half of the Direct is spent on games we already know about.
Ooh.
Because we haven't seen much.
That's true.
We've seen 4, 10 minutes of, think about it. Fire Emblem Warriors, Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If they're coming this year, we have to see them, and we have to see them in depth.
What Fire Emblem? All we got was like that, like
it was just like basically an animation.
Yeah,
and I think because ARMS is a new IP. I think they give it something. It's going to be a new character or something. It gets 1 minute of ARMS on stage, and ditto for Splatoon. They're going to have
Tofu Lad.
Yeah, they're going to have a map or something.
This is what I'm thinking. They show maybe a 2 or 3 minute trailer, or like a minute, like you said, and then they show more of the game in a treehouse later, and not actually use the Direct slot.
Maybe,
but at least for Splatoon and ARMS, I think. But Fire Emblem Warriors or Mario, I think we'll get a good.
Yeah. The fall stuff is definitely getting, and plus, the Direct is not going to be 100% Switch focused. It's going to be 3DS focused, and those 3DS games, like the Super Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, that's going to get time. I think that's like their that's going to be their big fall game with another game. So I definitely think that probably 30 to maybe up as 50% of the thing will be on games that I'll put it this way, games that we already know about or have been heavily rumored.
Right.
Like not completely blown the pants surprise. I don't think, we're going to have a
blown the pants.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
I meant to say blow my mind, and I don't know why I just said pants.
Donnie's gassy.
I think it's because I'm chatting with Mo. Maybe that's it. Maybe just
that's true. That's true.
Pants.
I blow in my pants.
Let's not go there. All right. So next one, ports. We got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We got Lego City. What's coming next? Is there more to come next? And if so, what would you like to see come through? 1 or 2, Jason.
There's not. So are we talking like so straight up ports?
Or slightly enhanced, like Mario Kart 8 is technically enhanced. So
honestly, the only thing I could say that I would even be remotely interested in at this point would be Smash. Just because I don't know if Sakurai is ever going to be involved with making another Smash Brothers game, especially of how taxing this last one was on him. And it really, at some point, like we've talked about with Mario Kart, when can you like take this game and turn it more into a service where you keep providing characters and updates and things like that? I mean, I'm not a Melee purist. I enjoy Melee a lot, but I believe that all the Smashes need to exist. I'm not so much Brawl, I guess. I didn't really like Brawl. But, come on, Trip Mechanic, get that crap out of here.
Yeah.
But I really loved Smash Wii U. You know, it was a great game. I loved all the characters. You have all the music. You had all these things. I mean, so if really, I know a lot of people were really clamoring more for what was the mode in Melee, the single player mode that we got, or maybe there's something like that in Brawl. I think too. Build up sort of that side of things with that port. Give us a little better online functionality. You know, toss in another character or two. I don't know. Give us back Ice Climbers. You know, things like that. I guess that would be the big thing. Otherwise, there's not. I really don't think there's anything else on Wii U I could do without. Oh, Waru Plaza, give me that. Port that to my Switch home screen.
That'd be a Switch theme. I'm gonna save my thoughts on Smash until later.
Okay.
I think maybe Nintendo might be a little hesitant to show off too many ports. I definitely think by the time the Switch is done, I think we get ports. I'm wondering how much they're going to show at E3 for fear that that's going to have like negative press. If they show off 3 or 4 ports, even if they're coming in 2018, I could already imagine the blog stories on Light Up the Internet of how the Switch is just a port machine. So I have that in mind. In terms of the Switch ports that I'd like to see, the one that I have kind of in my head, it won't come this year because of Breath of the Wild, but I would love for them to do like a Wind Waker HD plus Twilight Princess. If they put both of them together and sold them like together, could you imagine like a $60 awesome. Twilight Princess plus Wind Waker Switch pack? That'd be amazing. And then the other one that I really want to pull one out is Fatal Frame, because I liked the Wii version of Fatal Frame, and it would fit like a game that Switch doesn't really have kind of on the roadmap at all. So,
Wonderful 101.
Maybe you and I have different interpretations of that one.
Never finished it. Now I never will.
But yeah, that's my thought on ports.
So I'm calling that they'll announce 2 ports. One I think is a slam dunk for sure thing, and it's Jason's pick at Smash Bros.
Okay. So now I'm going to get in on this then.
Hold on, wait. Let me say why, because I'm not
going to interrupt, but now I'm going to get in.
Okay, because I think I know where you're going to go. So fans, especially these ones that are jumping on the bandwagon now that didn't adopt to the Wii U, if they were to wait for another Smash to be developed, they're looking at least, because nothing's been started, 2-3 years probably, and that's being generous. Nintendo, if they want to continue to capitalize on that wave, can't wait that long for a Smash. You can make somebody wait that long dangling the carrot of a Star Fox or an F-Zero or a Metroid, but
don't even.
I'm just
me with your words, Kevin.
I'm just saying, if they want to capitalize on people, that needs to come out sooner than later. So take what you already have, which is a great, solid thing, much better than Brawl. I agree with Jason there. You already have it. You're pushing the amiibos later; those still haven't been released yet. So there's got to be something coming for Smash. I think that's the given one. Now, Jason said, "Oh, I don't." Oh, yeah. Sorry, go. You go before I tell my other thought.
Before you get another port, let me jump in on Smash. All right. So here was a prediction. I'll go ahead and burn. I had a prediction written down. Smash Brothers will be at E3. It is a deluxe version of a port coming spring 2018. I don't think it comes this fall. And the reason I say that is because I have another prediction that I will predict. And once that prediction comes through, this fall is packed. They have a game already for every month. Okay. So I think Smash Bros. Is coming. I agree with you. They've got to get it out soon. They have to let people know. I think it is at E3. I think they show you Ice Climbers or new things. They show you some stuff, but it's a 2018 game.
That's fine. I wasn't necessarily saying it was 2017, so I agree with you. I think spring 2018 is actually perfect and a better fit than saying it comes out this year, but I think it's definitely coming. Now, for Jason saying, well, it wasn't really anything else that you'd want to see ported. Well, all right. I've heard a lot of people say Yoshi's Woolly World. and I think that would be fun. However, considering they just ported it to the 3DS, do you really need it again? Probably not. So, Paper Mario Color Splash.
I thought you were going to go Captain Toad.
Nah. If they do Captain Toad, that'll be another game. They'll do another Captain Toad game. I don't see them porting it.
I would love another Captain Toad game. I love Captain Toad.
Captain Toad was great, but I think Paper Mario, because a lot of people missed it. They didn't hang on to their Wii U's. They had already given up hope on it. They didn't want to play it, and it was a fantastic title. You can tell by our top 20 Wii U games or 25, whatever we ended up settling on. It's on there, and it's high up on there. It was a fantastic game. So it's something a lot of people missed out on, much like people missed on Mario Kart 8 and missed on Smash Bros. So while it doesn't have that same appeal and mass appeal all over, it's a good, probably another quick port that you don't need to graphically really overhaul because of the animation style. It's another quick cash cow that they can flip, and by summer 2018, have it out the door. People will be happy for it. So
it's a good pick.
Those are my picks.
Okay. I want a Mario Golf on Switch.
Oh, don't tempt me, man. Don't mess with me.
All right, so hold on. Let's see what questions we have here. So let's jump in on this one then before we get into some of the other things here. Rob writes in, what long forgotten franchise would you like to see brought back on the Switch?
F-Zero.
I was going to go Donnie first, but Jason just jumped right in there.
F-Zero. Go definitely. Do your thing.
Anything else more to say on that, Jason, or just F-Zero?
Yeah, I mean, it's not long forgotten, but I think it's due for a proper installment. I mean, I honestly, I've never really played F-Zero. I've played a little bit of the original. I never played anything after that. So, racing games seem to be in a weird space. But I mean, I feel like Fast RMX did well. I mean, it must have done all right enough. Like Fast Racing EM must have done well enough on Wii U where they're like, hey, let's make a version for the Switch. Yeah. So, I mean, that's very much F-Zero-esque. And then plus we've got Nintendo doing what Nintendo does, trolling us with the closest experience we can get is 200cc Mario Kart on F-Zero tracks.
Using the F-Zero car.
You in an F-Zero car. I mean, so I'd like to see that, and I would like to see a 2D Metroid. I don't want to go. I don't want to see a 3D. I'd like to see a 2D Metroid adventure. Maybe those aren't as long forgotten as they could be, but I feel like those are really popular Nintendo IPs that they just have thrown to the wayside. That I know, there's many a fan that would love to see those represented again on the Switch.
I agree. So, Donnie?
I mean, I think the obvious answer is Metroid. I don't know necessarily if I go as far as Jason goes. I mean, Metroid, the thing that I always bring, Metroid doesn't sell. So I was it's like a very loud
Federation Force.
It's like a very loud minority. I mean,
that's true. I think any 2D Metroid will outsell Federation Force. So if they're willing to try that,
and Jason, I liked Federation
I liked it. I know. I'm sad that I'll never finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun though. I like Blast Ball a lot. I'd be down for a HD Blast Ball. That was really fun.
I tell you what. Let's just get a port of the soccer.
So you took my guess. Strikers. Strikers is the answer here. Because
Strikers.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say Metroid, and then you said Metroid, so I was going to go Strikers. The problem is with Mario sports games, they don't really come to a platform until a platform is very successful. And even in some cases, like the Wii, how the Wii never had its own Mario Golf game, I don't understand. That makes no sense. The amount of golf games that the Wii had and the amount of people that took advantage of it, and Mario Golf never happened. Yeah. We actually haven't had a console Mario Golf since GameCube. So I'd be all down for that, but ditto for Strikers. Strikers.
You can have your Strikers prediction. I was going more towards Rocket League. I wanted to see a Rocket League on the Switch.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, both of those, those Mario sports things are definitely long forgotten. If you count the GameCube long, which in console years I do. Yeah, those are generations ago, and I'd like to see them come back.
Okay, I have one word answer.
Ooh,
Earthbound.
I was saying we know exactly what this answer is.
I was gonna say I thought maybe you'd pull out Punch Out maybe.
Well, I was thinking that, but I mean, technically, it did have one out in the Wii,
and it was awesome.
That was great. I played that. I got that for the Wii. I got that on the Wii U. I loved it. My nunchuck and Wiimote were terrible, so I couldn't play it very well.
Right. That's so. I mean, I would like that as well. That would have been my second pick, but I just kind of felt that. Well, it was just on Wii, so it wasn't that that long ago, but yeah, that would be my second choice for sure. And
Mother 3 confirmed.
Yeah,
it's coming.
I actually think we're more likely to see a punch out than we do see that, and I don't think we're seeing a punch out because of Arms. I think Arms is the next punch out, and that's what's going to continue on, I think, down the line. So, all right, so that's another question.
Little Mac DLC for Arms.
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that. Actually,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
That should be out there. He just gets some mechanical arms or something.
King Hippo.
Drop your pants. All right. Wow. It's getting late. So the next thing we'll chat about then. So Nintendo's online service. They got to start talking about the voice chat stuff that they promised us. The whole app thing. What's it going to look like? How's it going to work? The whole monthly game downloads and special sales you can get by being a subscriber. So for sure, I think we're going to see that. And I do think that may be a good chunk of time on the Direct, because how else do you really convey that? I think a press release kind of confuses people. If you're able to talk and demonstrate maybe a little bit of what it looks like, how it's going to function, you're more likely to win people over. Now, for me, they may not want to spend 20 minutes on it, because I'll turn into, when Xbox talked about TV forever and everyone's like, move on, show something else. They don't want that effect. But if they show maybe 5 minutes and say, we're going to have another Direct later, just showing this later on down the line, maybe in a week or two or a month, and then just have like a 30-minute Direct dedicated to it later. But I do think they need to address the elephant in the room. People want to see what's coming there. And honestly, I'm a little. So when does Splatoon launch? It's after E3.
Yeah.
It's like right after.
Yeah, okay. It's like right after.
So that has to be ironed out for Splatoon's launch. Yep. They cannot have Splatoon again without voice chat. They need to fix that. So it has to be
smart man.
This has to be addressed. So bottom line, that's my thoughts on it. We'll see it. I do want to know more about the monthly game downloads. What's the deal with it? Is it really only for a month? If it is, that's fine. But what are we looking at? Because certain games that I'd want to experience, I may not be able to finish in a month. And then what happens? Do I get to buy it, or do I just lose it forever? So I want to see more details on that as well. So what are your thoughts there, Donnie?
I was going to say, you're very smart. I laid the breadcrumbs out and you took the bait. Number 4 prediction for Donnie Reese. Nintendo Switch gets OS, eShop, and theme updates and Virtual Console out before Splatoon.
Oh, see, I didn't mention Virtual Console.
I know. I'm kind of blending. I won't talk Virtual Console, but that was my prediction, and I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they kick off the show that way. For some reason, it just doesn't sound right. I think they either kick off slow with 3DS or they kick off with Mario and get off with a bang. But I absolutely think in the presentation, they go over, all right, here's what's coming to the Switch. It's going to update. We're going to be able to do these things, and here's the app. And I think it comes before Splatoon.
Do they pull the update is rolling out now kind of thing?
I think yes. For some odd reason that sounds right, especially, again, cheating on our next topic, but especially if they launch Virtual Console. Virtual Console is the perfect thing to go, and it's out today or tomorrow. That's it. Like, that will set the internet on fire.
And they've done it before. They've done it before where they released it. Was it Super Mario Galaxy? They announced and they oh, you can go download it now, or whatever it was on the Virtual Console last
Didn't they do the same thing with like the 3DS VC?
Yeah, there's some stuff. Yeah, yep.
That I think they did a Direct for the VC on 3DS, and I think it came out before E3.
Well, they might have, but either way, they did an announcement in there that you can get it now.
Spring. 3DS came out in the fall, and they launched it in the spring. Yeah.
So, Jason, any other thoughts before we jump more into the Virtual Console?
Yeah, I'm very much on the same position as you guys. I think we need to. I haven't jumped in. Like last night, I was getting the dreaded Switch DNS errors. I was trying to play Mario Kart, and it's like, oh, you can't connect. You got DNS errors. Oh, you want to add somebody to your friends list? No, DNS errors. And I guess the fix is to power down your console. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to bed then. And I powered it. I powered it down today at work, and now it's fine. But because supposedly last night there was some maintenance on Mario Kart, so I really I need to see some improvement with their online infrastructure. And let's face it, this is literally like Mario Kart's the first game to really test that and push that, especially with how popular it was. I don't think they anticipated it was going to sell quite as well as it did. So we really need things to be working smoothly when Splatoon comes. I was not able to take part in the test fire, so I have no experience there. But I agree, it's very important that we get this whole voice chat thing ironed out. And I'm interested to see how it's going to work, because I don't know if it's possible, but how cool would it be? Because the Switch, I mean, it doesn't work, but it wasn't originally reported that Switch has some form of Bluetooth inside of it, has some sort of wireless connectivity. How cool would it be that if this voice chat app would connect to your Switch too, and it would not only would you get the voice chat, but somehow it would pump game audio through your phone too. I don't know if that's even technically possible, but I think that would just be sweet. That would just be really cool if you had the game audio plus voice chat through.
My biggest concern with moving it off to the phone, and not that it's, I don't think it's a huge concern because I have a microphone, but my biggest concern with is capturing the audio. I don't see how it's possible if they move the voice chat audio to your phone, how you can capture the audio if you're like streaming. I don't think you're going to do party chat.
Happen.
You're gonna have to
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's not
you
a
have to use a
huge
third-party
deal.
application or something.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I know streamers will make a problem of it, and but I don't think it's a gigantic deal. Really, the most important thing isn't that you can capture it for your stream. The most important thing is you can talk to your friends while you play.
Yeah,
that will get I
mean, that's the problem. Look what we've already done for the Mario Kart nights already. As Nintendo fans, we've had to use these convoluted methods. We've had to use, we have to use a Slack chat to send invites. We have to do all these extra steps to organize, and then if we want to chat, we have to use our phones or our laptop and something else. I mean, yes, we're still having to use another device, but finally, maybe we'll get something that's supported. I mean, this has been like voice chat on a console has been going on for what? When did the Xbox and PlayStation 3 start running those? I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Xbox Live, like 2006.
We still don't have that on a Nintendo console, except, unless you count that horrible instance of, you have lobby chat and
they had Wii chat for Animal Crossing on Wii.
Yeah.
What was it?
Microphone.
It was just Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers had like the lobby chat, and that was it.
Yep.
So
it was terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So Donnie teased it a little bit already. Let's move on to Virtual Console. So typically 4 months after launch, we see Virtual Console announced. I think we're seeing it at E3. I don't think anybody would be shocked to see them talk about Virtual Console at all. I think they'd be more shocked if they don't.
Oh man, could you imagine if they don't?
Oh. Nintendo stocks plummet.
A 45-minute presentation with no mention of Virtual Console at all.
Yeah, they just leave the stage. They're like, wait, what? The director
we have improved Joy-Cons X Plus for you to buy.
XL, Joy-Cons XL. They're just bigger.
The new Joy-Con XL Galaxy Edition.
Yes, with no 3D though. So. Do we expect the GameCube support rumors to be true? Let's just leave that yes or no before we get into the second half. Donnie?
I want to pat myself on the back because before I looked it up...
Don't do too hard. You'll hurt yourself.
I didn't hear too many people that kept saying that Virtual Console typically arrives 4 months after launch.
No,
and all the other
ones, a lot
of
people were complaining.
Yeah, like it came during Switch, it came during 3DS, it came during Wii. Like a lot of people are like, well, we're going to have Virtual Console. Why isn't it here day one? It should be there day one. And I agree. I absolutely think it should be there day one. I don't think that's too much to ask. But the trend is that Nintendo usually holds it for about a quarter after launch. Like that is just the trend. And I didn't hear a whole lot of people say that until I did the research on it. And then all of a sudden I heard a lot of people say it. I'm not saying I started it. I'm just saying maybe I had influence there. It's absolutely coming. GameCube support, yes.
Okay. I say yes as well. Jason?
I think we'll see GameCube support. I just don't know when would be my thing. I don't think we'll see. I think we'll see some sort of initial Virtual Console rollout, and then we'll see GameCube support down the line.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so, I think GameCube comes that day, or whenever that goes. I think GameCube.
I'm with Donnie. So
they go out on stage and it's like, Sunshine Virtual Console.
Yes. That's Jason. That's literally what I was gonna say. They say GameCube support day one, and it's either Sunshine, which I think is more likely, or Luigi's Mansion.
No, it's both. It's both.
I think it's both. You've been enjoying Shine Thief and Mario Kart. Well, now it's time to catch all the shines.
So what I think is going to happen is
Can't stop my shine.
I don't think it's going to be the Virtual Console of old, but I don't think it's going to be the Virtual Console that we want. I don't think they're going to come on stage and have like some Phil Spencer moment where they talk about the 500 games that are available for you to play right now.
Yeah.
No,
what
definitely.
I think they're going to come on stage and do is they're going to have a select collection of NES, SNES, and GameCube games. Maybe 64. I don't know, but I definitely think SNES and NES because one, the app uses those. Like they've blatantly mentioned that if you subscribe to the service, you get an NES and SNES game. So I think that has to be their launch. And then two, the GameCube stuff has just been so long rumored that I think the 5 games that have been rumored are going to be there. I think you're going to get Luigi's Mansion. I think you're going to get Smash. Smash is going to tie you over for the Smash announcement to 2018. I think you're going to get Sunshine, probably Wind Waker. or at least some Zelda support. I think that stuff. I think that's going to happen. And if you think about the way that I think about it is, a lot of people are like, well, especially in Kevin's instance, a lot of people are like, I'm not into ARMS. Splatoon's not doing enough for me to make me want to buy it. This is the announcement that goes, this is why you buy a Switch until Mario comes.
Yep, exactly.
And that's why I think it's going to be there day one.
So are we thinking though? Are we going to? Would you see like a bundle deal for these bunch of the groups of games?
No,
no, at all.
Nintendo never does that. I don't think they're going to start. And it'd be interesting to predict what they're going to cost. I think they're going to cost $10 a piece.
I don't know. Like, are we going to see something similar to like the upgrade program that we had from Wii to Wii U?
No.
Or do you think somehow are we ever going to get to a point where Nintendo says, "Oh, you've already bought these games 15 times. We're going to not make you buy them again"?
The biggest announcement, prediction number 6 on Donnie's list, is no backwards compatibility for purchases, but the announcement is made during Virtual Console that all purchases made from Switch going forward will stick to your account.
I think so as well. Now, Donnie, I couldn't hear you. How much did you say you think the GameCube games are going to be?
I think they're at the cheapest. I think they're $10. I wouldn't be surprised if they were $11.99 or even $14.99.
How much were the Wii? The Wii.
Do you have any idea how much a cart or how much a disc of Sunshine goes for? It's like a $30 game.
How much was Prime Trilogy and Punch Out for Wii U when those came out? Those were $10, weren't they?
Ooh, that's a great question.
And then Mario Galaxy.
That up. No,
I can't remember.
I think they were $15.
I think they were $20.
Yeah, they were 15.
They did that promo. They did that promo like those first couple days. They were like half.
They did do a promo, but I think they were $20 a piece.
So that I would assume something maybe a little less than that price point. But I think that 10 somewhere between.
I think 15 is not out of the question. 15, it is $20. All Wii games on Virtual Console are $20 a piece. Okay. So I think 15 is. I think it's possible, and I wouldn't be upset with that price. I think it's a little high, but Nintendo is always like a little high. They're always like $4 more than you want them to be.
Guess what? And we always pay it, so that's why they can do it.
Exactly. $9.99 would be the sweet spot for GameCube games.
That'd be fantastic.
$14.99, I still think you'd buy whatever you were going to buy.
Yeah, I would play Sunshine again. It's been a long time. I mean, I have it sitting there in a box in my basement, but there's no proper TV to connect it to. So
yeah, it's amazing. I just listened to our buddies at Nintendo Nostalgia just did a revisiting of Mario Sunshine. It was really good, and it got me back on. I'm like, I really want to.
Sunshine is so good. And being able to play Sunshine on the go.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
See,
and honestly, if they do $10 a title, I will end up buying games I had zero interest in buying again.
Exactly. But for some reason, if they do 15, I'll go, I can play it on the go. Yep. I'm doing it.
Yep. So, all right, cool. So let's move on. Let's hit up our next question since we're talking about downloadable stuff. And do we see more Nintendo mobile games at E3 2017? I say yes. We'll get to see a little bit more of the Animal Crossing game.
Yeah, Animal Crossing for sure.
Because that just kind of vaporized. Donnie's prediction number 7.
Bold prediction. We won't see one mobile game or any mention of Animal Crossing at E3.
Wait, no mention?
I say no. You know why?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because it doesn't quite fit for.
I've got a couple predictions that I'm going to add to this, but when they're done, dude, the lineup's stacked. There's no room for it. They need to hold off. They can't blow it all early.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So Jason, you thinking just Animal Crossing? Or you think we get something else?
I don't think we get anything else. I don't. And I mean, like, while we're on the topic of mobile games, like, we're all on Android, correct?
Yep.
The three of us. Did you guys ever do anything with Super Mario Run when it finally came to Android?
I never bought it.
I tried the demo, and that was it. I was also
my daughter plays it.
I honestly think if we would have gotten in like at the same time when it released on Apple, I probably would have bought that game because I was all hyped up about it and I was super excited. And then by the time it finally came around to Android, we already had the Switch and it was just like, what is this thing? This is something for me to mess around when I'm pooping.
To make my point 100% clear, I'm not saying that Animal Crossing, the mobile game, which has already been announced, won't come this year. I'm saying Animal Crossing, the mobile game, is not at E3, and there is no mention of Animal Crossing at E3.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
All right. So before we move on to the next thing, let's bang out another question we got sent in. What about Amiibo? Are we done with the Amiibo? I think the last Nintendo Direct made that perfectly clear that we are not done with Amiibo, and I think we'll see more new ones.
What are they going to have, like Fire Emblem Amiibo for Fire Emblem Warriors? an Odyssey amiibo.
There'll be an Odyssey amiibo for sure, guaranteed.
There's definitely those Monster Hunter amiibo are going to come over.
Arms amiibo.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Arms amiibo.
Ooh, that's a bold take. I don't know if I'd buy an Arms amiibo. That game better be hella good.
I mean, let's look at it.
Buy it because it'd be cool because they probably have like longer extended arms, like the Guardian one from Zelda.
Extended
something like that. You'd probably buy them because they just look cool.
I mean, the game better be really good if they're going to be buying amiibo.
I want the game to be good. I want IPs to do good.
Sure.
Here's the thing. Like amiibo, let's face it, when amiibo came out, went nuts. You know, everyone went crazy for amiibo. And then we had a big lull with amiibo. But now all of a sudden with like what we're seeing with the Breath of the Wild amiibo, it's getting nuts again.
Do you think there's another Breath of the Wild amiibo? I kind of think there is. I kind of think
I don't think it's done yet.
Champions. You don't think they could do a Champions amiibo?
I think the Champions would be great, but what would they do? Like that's the thing. Like they are kind of
we need a Lionel amiibo.
It literally doesn't matter what they do.
No.
People would buy them anyway.
With the next DLC, with that DLC, like the story pack. Oh, here's an amiibo to go with the story pack. You know,
man, you're right.
Something like that. I mean, they're not done. I mean,
no,
I haven't bought like the last 2 amiibo I bought where I got crazy cheap deals from Walmart on the 8-bit variants of Link and Mario.
Yeah.
But
I said I wasn't gonna pre-order the new ones, and I pre-ordered Corrin and Cloud.
I do kind of want the Final Fantasy VII version of Cloud. I don't want the Advent Children one, but like Cloud's my boy. I probably would play him in Smash if I actually owned any of the DLC for Smash, or owned a Wii U still.
Spoilers: he's not that good in Smash.
It depends on who's using him, Kevin.
Yeah, but I guess that's true. Considering what I can do with the characters nobody else likes, I guess that's valid. I just didn't care for him that much. All right, so next up then, so this has already been leaked a little bit. We've heard a little bit more news about this. Mario X Rabbids Mushroom Kingdom RPG type
that's
thing.
The thing.
So we've heard it's going to be turn-based, so it will seem very similar to the old Super Mario RPG. Mario gets laser guns, supposedly. So I don't know how I feel about that fully yet. But I am looking forward to seeing what this is. I still think, so I've talked about this before, and Donnie's talked about it before as well. The Rabbids were great games. They were fun. Like when the Wii first came out and you had the 2 games of Raving Rabbids, like I loved both those games. That time was a long time ago. I know they've had a cartoon on Nickelodeon. They've done things with the characters, but it just seems like such a weird thing. It almost seems to me. Now I'll probably play this hands on. It's gonna be like something similar to Super Mario RPG. I'll give it a shot. But it almost seems like Ubisoft is taking advantage of Nintendo, saying like, "Hey, let's try and revamp these guys using Mario." Donnie's raising his hand. Go ahead, Donnie.
You're exactly at my point. That's exactly right on I go. Maybe I'm touching where you were going with it.
Okay.
I see this as Nintendo they're basically pimping Mario out to get Ubisoft support. Yep. I'm interested to see if this game is announced at the Ubisoft conference or if it's held for the Nintendo conference. But what I'm definitely expecting is I'm expecting a quid quo pro situation where I think Ubisoft is going, we want to support your platform, but Zombie U and Red Steel sold like crap.
Yep.
And we need help. Yeah. And I think Ubisoft is using Mario to get a game that sells in return for getting a Ubisoft game ported to Switch. It could be an old Assassin's Creed game. It could be a new Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what it is. It could be Zombie. It could be Watch Dogs. It absolutely could. It could be any game that Ubisoft had. It could be South Park. This game is running on the engine that South Park is running on. It's the same engine. There's Snowball or whatever engine that report came out this week.
Yep.
So one of the things that I've been alluding to as we've been going, I have this penciled in my little 1 game a month. This is a system exclusive having Mario. So in my mind, that blocks off yet another month that a new IP or a new unannounced game could fit in. So what I'm seeing right now, let's just say, for instance, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is December or January. Mario Odyssey is obviously the November game.
Yep.
Fire Emblem Warriors and Rabbids, they switch between August and September. You now have room for 1 game.
Yep.
I think 1 game. Now, if you have a port like a Super Mario Color Splash, maybe they could have a month with 2, something like that. I think so, but I don't think you port a Smash into that window.
No.
The Smash will kill the sales of the other game. That's why you don't. Like Color Splash isn't going to kill the sales of the game that I think is in that window, but it would absolutely kill Smash would. right? So in my mind, that's kind of how I've built my predictions around. Is I think there's one game we don't know about that's coming this fall. But I think this is a cool game from an idea. I'm interested. I like when Nintendo does weird things, and I know this is Ubisoft, but what Ubisoft is doing and what Nintendo is allowing them is kind of weird. And for at least that, I'm open-minded.
Yep. No, I'm with you. So I'm interested in seeing more of this, and I agree. It is tough to say. Will this be a Ubisoft's presentation or Nintendo? I think that's a very valid point. I almost feel like they'll. See, I don't know. I can't see Mario being on someone else's presentation, but I think it would do Ubisoft better if it was on theirs, because realistically, what else do they have this year? They'll show Assassin's Creed Egypt or whatever, Just Dance, whatever it's going to be, and then what else they got?
What I had in my mind was, think about it this way: Ubisoft talks Mario and Rabbids on their stage, and Miyamoto or Reggie comes out and talks, right? So that's going to get Nintendo buzz at the Ubisoft show.
That's true.
And then during the Nintendo Direct, they announce South Park or Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed or whatever game. Exactly. And then Ubisoft comes over and does their thing over there. I don't know. That was kind of what I had in mind, but I put some thought into it at least.
I think it's valid. Jason, your thoughts?
I've never played a Rabbids game. I don't know quite what to make of all of this. I guess if it leads us to more third-party support, that's a good thing. It does seem to be a bit of a weird mashup. But hey, I was listening to a podcast today that was talking about we're gonna have 4, it's gonna go, like we said, the turn-based RPG route. We'll have 4 characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi, and then we'll also have the Rabid variants of said characters, dressed as them. I don't,
if you knew the Rabbids, it makes more sense.
It's kind of like swapping out Toads with Rabbids.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could work. I don't know. I've never played a Rabbid game. They seem to have their niche. I just hope this leads to more third-party involvement.
I think that's what this is. Yeah,
that's what I want. So
Nintendo throwing Ubi a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. So next thing that I don't think once again will surprise anybody. Eurogamer's already let this cat out of the bag. Supposedly, Super NES Mini Classic Deluxe Ultra. You'll never be able to buy one in store, so don't even think about it. Edition. Yeah, it'll be unveiled. I don't
at E3 though.
Yeah, I think they'll at least talk about it. I don't know if they'll go into in-depth, but I think they would mention it. But once again, it's something that they don't need to spend a lot of time on, because guess what? It's going to sell a gajillion copies as long as they have them this time around. But I do think they at least mention it, especially if it's coming out this year. They have to.
I don't think so.
Really?
The NES Classic Edition, that's why I put it on here, because I thought it was a good question, because I think a lot of people are going to expect it because we already know about it and the rumors are already ramping up. So I think a lot of people are going to tune in E3 expecting to see SNES Mini, but we didn't see NES Mini. We didn't even have an idea of NES. Like, Jason, you alerted me to NES Mini. You just woke up one day and found that up on a website.
Yeah.
There wasn't even an announcement or a PR.
I think I agree. I think that's why they have to do this, because the whole reason, I know a lot of people are upset about the out of stocks with NES Mini, but I think Nintendo always intended it to be a limited hopday item.
Yep. And I said that all along, and everybody didn't listen to me.
I think that's what we're going to see. It's always going to continue to be this little novelty item. I'd love to be able to pre-order and stuff like that. Because okay, if I really wanted an NES Mini, I probably could have got one, but I really didn't want one that bad. But a Super NES Mini, I want that, because I didn't have one. I had an NES, so I already had that. I didn't own a Super Nintendo, so I'm a little more interested in being able to play those games.
I've always said that I want one, but if they announce Virtual Console and the games are there, I won't get one. I'd rather play them on my Switch.
I don't think it's E3. I don't think that's E3 worthy, because that cannibalizes Virtual Console a little bit. So I think a SNES Mini is separate.
If they release an SNES Mini,
#butts,
and there is #butts, and there is the quantity, I will say this right now, this will outsell their entire 3DS library that they will spend on E3 talking about. So it would make sense to talk about it.
I heard a great rumor, and I don't want to get too in depth with it, but I heard a great point that the reason they discontinued the NES so quickly is that they were not making as much money as they thought they could, that they undershot the market.
Absolutely.
So what if the SNES Mini comes out and it's $100?
I'm still, if you give me,
still think it sells
more games.
Yep. Just give me a few more games and I'm good.
What if it's not? What if it's the same amount of games?
I'm gonna hack it and put more games on it.
It would depend on the games. If they give me 30 blockbusters, I'm still in. But if they give me garbage, like nothing's even coming to mind right now. But if they, like, I mean, there were some NES titles on that thing that was like, I'm never gonna play this. So if they do that, no. But they can charge me $100 for a Super NES Mini, and it'd be good games, and I'm in.
I by no idea think this is even possible for Nintendo because they've never shown the idea. But one idea that I had, if this does show up at E3, I could see it being tied to the Virtual Console announcement, where I could see them going, the SNES Mini is coming in November, but if you own a Switch, you can pay us $60 and get all of the SNES games on your Switch today.
Ooh.
I don't think they'll do that. That's ridiculous. That's a pie in the sky thing. But it is something that I thought about. Like, what if they try to tie the markets together?
Well, it honestly, if they had that available to go, that makes a lot of sense. They don't need to manufacture these devices. They don't need to worry about people flipping out about not being able to find them. You're just like, all right, I can pay it, and I can still take it anywhere I want to go. And it's actually even easier to move around with than the Mini. Then yeah, do it. But
and you'll still have a casual market that don't want to switch that will buy them anyway.
Yep.
What are you more keen on? Would you be all in a Super NES or a Super Famicom variant?
I want the NES. I have no attachment to the Famicom.
Yeah, I know I'm really into any of this. I'm not that old.
Oh, shots fired. You'll get caught up in the shots fired.
Been hanging on to that one all day.
Gotta let you have one every once in a while, I guess.
Do you got tennis balls under your walker yet?
Oh. Walker's gonna go right upside your head in a minute. All right, so let's move on from that then. So we're kind of divided there. I think they'll show it, but I don't think they'll talk about it. You guys say no go. All right, so final thoughts on what you think Nintendo will announce for this fall or 2018. Donnie's been teasing something this whole dang show because we guess everything else. So Donnie, do you want to go last, or do you want to let me and Jason go and see if we actually steal your pick?
I've got 4. I'm guarantee you one of you's got at least one of them.
Ooh.
So I can either burn it now or let you burn it.
I don't feel confident that I do.
No, Kevin's definitely got one.
Cards and Kevin's.
All right, Jason, you go first then.
Playing with power. I think we're gonna get a little more like we talked about the details on the Virtual Console, and I think we're gonna get, maybe it's because I don't know why I want this to be a thing, but the whole time every time I think about this is what I want so bad. Our first game that's detailed with the Nintendo subscription is going to be Super Mario Kart, and it's going to have online play on the Switch. And it's going to be amazing.
Awesome. That would be great.
I don't know why in my head I think it just sounds so amazing. In practicality, it might be terrible because I played Mario Kart on emulator at Lucas's one time, and I did not have fun with it. But I just think the ability to, like, I think you can go online with 8 people in Super NES Mario Kart, I think that's just going to be stupid fun. So that's my one.
That's your one? That's all you got?
No, I got more.
Oh, we're supposed to rotate.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna rotate. Okay. I don't know if I want to take the low-hanging fruit or go for the wild pitch here.
Ooh, it depends on what. You never know what Mr. Reese is gonna have.
I've got good ones. I think I've got good ones. I've got one that's easy. I've got 2 that's easy.
All right, I'll go with this one. Pikmin 4 this year. This year.
Oh no, not even close.
Because Miyamoto has said for like 3 years that it's near done.
Time Magazine, Pikmin 4 was in development for Wii U. We know that.
So I think that's an easy pick. Yes, it's not one that's going to break down, get new sales, records or anything like that. But I think that's coming, and I'm going to make the bold prediction that that's the extra title this year we're getting that we don't know about.
That's a good segue to mine. I've got Pikmin 4 coming 2018. I absolutely think Miyamoto's going to show us Pikmin 4. The game that's filling this window for this fall is Pokemon Stars. Now, Q predicted that Pokemon Stars is coming. It's a 3DS only exclusive, and I hate to burst his bubble, but I disagree with him in the sense that for a couple reasons. Pokemon Stars was rumored in development before the Switch was known, when it was back in the NX. We knew that NX was coming. We didn't even know what it was at the time. And I don't mean to use them as evidence, but like Laura Kate Dale and Eurogamer, they said Pokemon Stars is coming to 3DS and NX before the NX was before we knew what the Switch was. And then they were right on what the Switch was before we knew what the Switch. Like, they have a really good track record, at least with the Switch stuff. So I think Pokemon Stars is the game that fills the void. So as I see it right now, August is Rabbids, September is Fire Emblem Warriors, October is Pokemon Stars, November is Mario Odyssey, December is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That opens the way for Smash and Pikmin to come in 2018. And then another big title, which I would say is probably Animal Crossing. That's probably the big fall game in 2018, and I don't think it's shown at this E3. That's the reason I went with that, to bring this conversation all together. I think Pokemon Stars makes...
So instead of one prediction, Donnie just made like 4.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just kind of like trying to make sense of my one prediction. The reason that I think this makes the most sense, yes, I think it's absolutely fair to, I mean, Pokemon Stars is going to be the yellow, the emerald, it's going to come. They made so much money last year. It's such an easy thing to do. The reason I think it's going to be a dual release is this. I think this is the last year for major 3DS support. And I don't think one will like devour the other. No. Right. So I don't think they compete against each other as much as people might want to make them sound like they will. The install base for 3DS warrants that game come out for 3DS. Like there's 50 million of them. They'll probably sell 10 million copies of it. Like that makes sense. But you have to prime the Switch to let people know that stuff is to be expected coming down the road. That's going to make people transition. People like you that are going, oh, well, should I trade it in and move? Those people are more likely to move and upgrade the hardware if they know that this is the place where Pokemon will be for the next 5 years. And I think that's good. And as much as Mario is great and 3D Mario is huge, Nintendo needs another one. They need another big hitter in that window. And I just don't think Pikmin's it. That's my only flaws with that is, they've got Scorpio to deal with. They've got a cheaper PS4 that's going to be cheaper than Switch. Like they need something that's going to move some units. And I think Pokemon's it.
That's a valid point. Cause I had that on my list too. And I kind of just didn't realize, like I wasn't thinking about this year, but you're 100% right. I agree with you. And it's going to be a dual release, hands down. It would be insane if they did just the 3DS or they did just the Switch.
So many people would be so wrong. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's impossible. I mean, we get rumors all the time, but I mean, so many people have seemingly known about Pokemon Stars development for Switch for like a year. Yep. That's not just a one-person report. That's like 10 different people from 10 different outlets. They're all reporting the same thing. So I would expect it. That's what I am expecting. I think that's the big game. And just like as I said with Mario, Pokemon's their best IP. Like that is their best IP. Sorry, Mario. Sorry, Link. Pokemon is Nintendo's best intellectual property. That's what sells systems, and I think it's important that they get it out.
Yep, you're right. So, Jason, next prediction.
I don't know what it's going to be, but I feel like there's got to be some big announcement of a new 3DS title.
Yep.
We've got. I feel like the 3DS line is not officially dead, but it's dead. They're done with 3DS. 2DS is going to be the way forward, and you're pushing all these new people into this new entry into the system. What is this? There's got to be some big new game coming because it's not just going to be Fire Emblem.
Do you think it's the Mario Luigi thing? I mean, it's Mario.
It is Mario. But I don't know. I don't feel like that's enough for everyone. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be new. I don't know what it is. I feel like
plus it's not technically new. I played that game, so yeah, it'd be fun to revisit. But it's not. It's not anything groundbreaking.
We're going to get some new unannounced game. I don't know.
Okay. The way that I was thinking about it was we get the Mario game, even though it's a remake.
Breath of the Wild 2D.
We're also getting Pokemon Stars. So I was kind of like, you get the Pokemon plus the Mario and the Fire Emblem, and all of a sudden it seems like it's real nice and rounded.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, so I'm going to save my most shocking one for last time. Animal Crossing is announced and not necessarily shown, but it will at least be talked about, and I agree with Donnie that it's going to be a 2018 thing. I think it has to come. Everybody's clamoring for it so bad. Anybody that's played Animal Crossing and followed it is just like, I think they're more desperate than the Pikmin fans right now, and they're just like, we need to play it, and it would be amazing on the Switch no matter what they do with it. Just looking at, Donnie said a million times, like playing the Mario Kart course for Animal Crossing, you're just like, my God, if it looked like that, that'd be fantastic. So Animal Crossing at least shown or a logo shown or something, and then saying like coming 2018. I think you will see that at E3.
Can I just say how much more enjoyable that track is in Mario Kart now that I've actually played an Animal Crossing? It's like, oh, this makes so much more sense.
My favorite one.
Okay, speaking of which, so I have a question for you guys. Is there any way to pick the season it shows up?
I always thought it was random.
Okay.
I thought it was random too, but
that's what I thought. But every single time I've played on Switch, it's been winter.
Every time I played on Switch, it's like
winter
fall.
And summer.
Yeah, I think it's random.
That's weird. Okay, yeah. All right. So Donnie, look into your crystal ball. What's your next prediction?
Here's a good one. You guys let me know. I think this is a good one.
It's terrible. Nope.
Considering
it's the worst.
Considering that we already know that we're getting that we got Setsuna, that we're getting Dragon Quest 10, 11 and Builders, and Project Octopath Traveler, I'm seeing a history here that Square Enix is committed to supporting the Switch, and I say we get a Final Fantasy game of some sort on the Switch. I want to say it's the Final Fantasy VII remaster. Maybe it's a port of 15. I don't know, but we're getting a mainline console Final Fantasy game coming to Switch.
Wait, so you're saying mainline is in not a Final Fantasy Explorers, not a Final Fantasy Symphony?
Yeah, not a Crystal Chronicles, not an Explorers, not a side story. We're getting I'm going to put it this way. We're getting a Final Fantasy game with a number on it.
See, you had me at there will be a Final Fantasy game on Switch. There is, pardon my language, kids, there is no chance in hell you're getting Final Fantasy VII.
Hang on. We have Cloud and Smash, we have a Cloud amiibo, and they're bringing Final Fantasy VII to Xbox One. Why wouldn't they bring it to Switch? It's not like they can't handle it. It's Unreal. Switch can run Unreal. Why wouldn't they? What's your reason for not doing it? They're bringing it to Xbox.
I actually thought it was only on PlayStation.
No, it's not exclusive. It's totally coming to Xbox, and I think PC.
But I think Sony's getting it first, though, aren't they? They
just got it on stage. I'm pretty certain. I'll look it up while you go, but I'm fairly certain.
We'll hear more about it from the other guys. Okay, but yeah, maybe. I don't think 7's the one though. I think maybe you get something. I see them doing another game like.
I think 7 is the one because Cloud has an amiibo and he's coming to Smash.
Well, he's in Smash. He's not coming. He's been there.
He is in Smash and he'll come to the new.
All right, fair enough. I'll give it to you.
No. I don't mean to disagree. I don't mean to disagree with you so hard.
No, that's fine.
I wanted some more resistance than it's not coming.
Oh.
I wanted you to tell me why.
All right. So here's my reasoning why. You haven't had a Final Fantasy number on there. I may be wrong, but I think this is the one since Final Fantasy 3 on Super Nintendo, which is technically Final Fantasy 4 in Japan. Right?
Time exclusive.
Okay, right.
No, hang on. No, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a PS4 timed exclusive.
Okay. Yep.
So if, let's say, for instance, if Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming this fall to PlayStation 4, I very much could see. I still think the announcement could come from Square that a port is coming in 2018.
Well, if you recall, it's episodic. Not necessarily we're going to get them all at the same time.
That's true.
This could be dragged out that you won't see episode 1 for a year later, a la Tomb Raider. Which,
you're right.
Sure, you'll still sell some, but which was seen in Tomb Raider, that killed sales on PS4.
The biggest part of me wanted to say it was going to be Tomb Raider. Like, I kind of wanted to say that it was going to be a different game. But for some reason, with the Japanese lean, with the Dragon Quest and the sets,
you're right. It's weird. So Nintendo's had this great relationship with them and Dragon Quest for so long between the handhelds and like that. That makes more sense to me. I don't know why, but it does. Because Final Fantasy, they always do these wacky spin-off things, whether it's tactics or whatever they want to do. They've stayed so far away from the mainstream that I don't know if they're going to do it. And all right, so we've seen massive games can be held on this cart, a la Zelda. But that's in a closed environment. Final Fantasies typically don't give you that type of closed environment. It's more like you go from this town to this town. So they end up playing more hours typically. So I don't know if that capacity is there for the Switch yet. We don't know.
And if you throw out 7, what about 15 though? 15 came everywhere, and they're still working on it.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know if that'd be as big or as exciting though. I don't know.
Right. I think I agree with you. 7 would be the headliner.
Yeah.
But I think Final Fantasy 15 as a port would still be very attractive to a Switch owner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
For Chrono Trigger remaster.
Now you're talking. That's the answer. That's the correct answer right there.
Ultimately, Square is showing a lot of support for the Switch, and I feel like there's a reason. They've got something to show. That's all. That's really what I was getting at.
All right, Jason, you got anything else on that list of yours?
I don't think I had anything else I had pondered. You know what I would like to see, though? A new Rogue Squadron game.
Oh, that'd be great.
How sweet would that be? I just was
timely.
Even the old one. What if it was just the GameCube?
Yeah, I was digging through my storage area, I came across my GameCube games, and there was Rogue Leader, and I was like, oh, such an awesome launch game. I want more arcadey Star Wars, but EA's got the whole license by the testicles, so I don't know. I don't think we'll see that, but
all right, Donnie, how many more do you have?
I can hope.
I got 2 more. Yep.
All right, I have 3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's do it.
One isn't that big.
I think one of mine's not big, but I think you'll both disagree with it.
Okay. So I'll do 2 right here, so we go back and forth for our last 2. So the first one, that's not a big deal. I think you'll see some sort of release for Mother 3 rather, finally, whether it's Virtual Console on Switch or whatever. I think that's going to finally come. Whether or not it's available now, I could see him doing it because they kind of did that with Earthbound Zero. Whatever. Once again, not that big. But it'd be big for me because I can finally play it, not have to pirate it. The bigger one that I had here, Eternal Darkness.
Ooh, I like it.
So Silicon Knights has been working on something for Switch. It hasn't been announced, if I recall. So that's my pick, is they bring back Eternal Darkness.
Sanity's Requiem.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to get my big one out of the way and save my little one for last. Give you all the headlight. So the reason why I said Animal Crossing is not shown at E3 at all, that's because Retro Studios finally gets its stage, and it's working on a Metroid game, and it's 2018, and they're going to show you they're going to close the show with the big space moment, and Samus Aran looking off into the vista with her gleaming armor. I don't know if it's going to be 2D or 3D or a mix of both, but I think it's going to look great.
Dude.
Retro has been working since Tropical Freeze. Is like 4 years they've been working on something. They've got the Deus Ex composer in-house doing all this kind of epic music and stuff. I mean, it's time for Metroid. Nintendo has been talking around Metroid for a while, and I'm telling you, somebody that doesn't like Super Metroid at all. Like, I'm not the world's biggest Metroid fan, but I think they did something really smart with the Switch. They started with a core Nintendo game, Zelda, and Zelda's selling great. I don't mean to make it sound like it doesn't sell well, but then they also came back with Mario and Kart. And I think they're going to set themselves up for next year to do the exact same thing. And that's where I kind of see Pikmin 4 and Smash and Metroid. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a Metroid game that they're not going to need to sell 10 million units, but it's going to appease the fans. And they'll have these wide appeal games elsewhere that will drive the sales.
Agreed. I think if they're working on it, it's got to be the 3D one. I don't see them doing a 2D one.
I was going to say that, but how good Tropical Freeze was?
It was, but it's so
2D Metroid. I'd put them on it.
Dude, how sweet would that be though? All of a sudden the screen just goes black and you hear the classic Metroid, those 4 notes. Oh,
I'm telling you, I think that's how they close the show. I think that's their big and one more thing. And that's the only reason why I don't think Animal Crossing's there. If that's not the case, then Animal Crossing's totally there.
No, that's fair enough. I definitely think Metroid was going to be mentioned. I just didn't put that on my list because I figured somebody would say that. So I'm glad you did. Then do you want to go with your next little one? Because mine is going to be controversial and you guys are going to have something to say. But I know Donnie's going to have something to say about it at least.
Okay. I think mine's controversial too. My last prediction is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gets DLC.
I think that's a surefire.
The reason why is I think they're going to have.
That's why I think
they're going to have more amiibo support. They have room to add more characters, battle maps, more costumes, and I just think that they're going to have a push for Mario Kart in the fall. It's their best IP next to Pokemon, and they need a reason to put it. I think they'll like bundle it, and I think they'll have DLC. They'll have more. They need something to generate news for Mario Kart in November, and I think DLC's it.
I don't know what they'd add as far as characters, but more courses. Hell yeah,
more courses. I would love to see another DLC pack with more tracks.
Yeah, battle map pack, $9.99. You get 5 or 10 more battle maps, and Block Fort comes back.
As long as they
just give me more courses so I can read.
Oh man, you talk about characters.
As they announce it with a rap, like the
characters.
Zelda.
We could get Fire Emblem characters. We could get Mario Odyssey characters or costumes. Oh man, you turn it into Smash Kart. And you just get all kinds of Nintendo characters. You get ice climbers on carts.
I don't want. Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. Certain ones, I guess. I don't want the Fire Emblem people there. Link already seems a little odd to me.
Yeah. They get Breath of the Wild.
Fit. I don't know.
Maybe he gets Breath of the Wild costumes. Maybe Zelda comes over.
The Guardian on a cart.
Dude, I'm just saying, yeah, something. Cloud.
Pikmin.
Birdo.
Dude, there's a lot that you can pull. You can definitely pull like all the amiibo. Like there's a lot more characters you could add to this. You could get the Duck Hunt dog. Like you could get a lot of stuff.
I want Fox or Falco. That'd be sweet to have Star
Dude, that makes sense.
An R-Wing cart.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in how well you guys have received this, because I thought when I said this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the game they talk about how big it is, would get DLC, but
it makes that perfect sense.
Kart and Smash services, and this would set that up.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. All right, so you ready?
Yeah, controversy.
Mario Odyssey delayed till 2018.
No way. That's impossible. It has to be here.
That's what Luke said about Vader.
When's the last time they hit a major release on the first shot?
Oh, I mean, they hit all the major releases on Mario for Wii U. None of those were delayed.
I'm not saying Mario. I'm saying game. And Mario Color Splash was delayed. That got pushed back 6 months.
Yeah, but Mario 3D World and Mario Bros. U were on.
Yeah, but those are different beasts. Think Legend of Zelda.
No, they're not. It's a 3D Mario game, and Mario 3D World is the last 3D Mario game we had.
Barely 3D, but anyway.
It's completely 3D Mario game.
It's not in the same respects as like Mario 64.
It's in the damn title.
Yeah, but it was very closed off. It was like
it was. I know it was an open world. I know.
So that was about as 3D as Captain Toad was. It's not, it's not developmentally wise. It wasn't taxing. But if you look at Breath of the Wild, you look at Star Fox, you look at stuff like that. They've all been delayed. They've never hit their mark.
You want my best part? Nintendo doesn't typically delay a whole lot of their games, especially the first party stuff. You want my biggest retraction to this? The Mario team, Tokyo EAD, they haven't been doing much. I think this game's done. To be honest with you, I think this game is.
I mean, I hope you're right, but I'm just saying I think that's going to happen, and I won't be surprised.
It's been a long time since Mario 3D World. I mean, what else have they been doing? See, that's the thing. The biggest thing that the biggest thing going for Switch in my mind, because I'm optimist Nintendo fan, is that last year of Wii U that Jason mentioned earlier, where we got Mario Tennis and crap. That was kind of releasing the floodgates, and then we just kind of had this year where nothing was going on. That's a year's head start of development time, and I think that's why the Switch didn't come out in the fall, and why the Switch came out in the spring, and why the lineup is a little light early, because I think they've been trying to line up. I think they're very much the new president. He's very much been saying we have to have constant flow of content. Yeah. And I just don't see them. I don't know. You might be right. I don't want to tell you wrong. I don't want to tell you this is an awful prediction. In my mind, I think there's like 2% chance that this happens. Mario has to hit. Even if it's broken and not finished, it has to be in the fall. It has to be.
If everything else you're saying is there, they can afford to move it.
No,
and not
it still has to be. So that's the thing. With PS4 and Scorpio and the bundles and everything, they need Pokemon and Mario to compete. If they have one or the other, they're gonna get pummeled. In my mind, because they don't have the third-party prop-up. That's the problem. I mean, that's always Nintendo's problem. If they don't have the third-party prop-up, then they've got nothing. Like, their IP has to be there. And, ultimately, I go back to the same point. Mario 3D Land came out, 4 years ago?
I don't even know, because I didn't play it until way later.
They've got assets out the yin-yang for Mario. It's not even like a thing. They're not always just working on a specific Mario game. They're always working on Mario ideas and concepts and stuff. They just have it there. I mean, that's like the whole Mario Maker thing, is that they're constantly looking at things like that. So I think this game is well into development. I mean, they've already showed us, even though I think the trailer they showed us was a little light, they showed us like 5 different environments. They showed us a lot. So I just don't see it happening. I don't know. Sorry, you're right. No. I disagree with you for like 10 minutes.
I know, and that's what I was expecting. I'm just saying, like, I've been burned too many times, and you're right. Nintendo needs the first party to be there to show up to continue. I agree with that 100%. But if you look at all the stuff that is coming out in this year, when's the last time you had a year from Nintendo with that much stuff? Even if you took Mario out, you normally don't see this many come out for the core.
That's true, and that's why I think the game that really comes into focus is the one I've been saying for a long time, is Xenoblade. I can see Xenoblade being pushed to January, February real fast.
Yeah, because that one's that'll do well, but it's not gonna do as well as. I'd even say it's not gonna do as well as Pikmin 4 will.
Probably not gonna do well at all, to be honest with you. That game has a cap on it. That game's gonna cap out at probably 3 million units.
Absolutely,
lifetime.
All right, so last question then, and then we're gonna close this up because we've been going for a while now. So, what does Nintendo have to do to quote unquote win E3? I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but Donnie, you want to summarize your thoughts?
They need Pokemon and Mario. They need two big franchises to stand against the others, at least in the first party realm. They need at least one third party title that gets people excited. I don't think it's Skyrim, and they need Virtual Console.
Jason.
I hate that. The whole winning E3.
Dude, it's what we do, man. We're bloggers. Come on now.
I hate it so much. It just makes me angry.
This just in. Jason's been assigned. Who won E3?
Ronimo, the developers of Astronauts, they won E3. that is my answer.
All right, so let me rephrase it for you then. What does Nintendo have to have a successful E3?
I think they just have to have a consistent message, and they have to show people that there's a steady stream of content coming to the Switch. The last thing we want is a Wii U drought to repeat, which I don't think we're going to get because, we have some pillars of first party, and we have a trickle of indies to help, spread that gap. But I think they need to come out with, they need to showcase the hits that I hope that they can, but I think they really need to, for me, it would be showcasing these strong games that we know are coming, but then to also show that they're taking care of us early adopters and that the online services, the things are going to be there. I think they just have to have an overall consistent message that supports itself. I feel like I'm going in circles here.
Awkward finish.
Awkward finish. I just, I want them to show us more of the games we want to come, and I want to know that the stuff I want to get improved, that they're listening and they're going to take care of.
I agree. I think we've kind of all on the same page here. They need to have that first party, which we know is already there. They need to have a strong third party showing, especially at E3. Not even at Nintendo's quote unquote direct, but as long as the other third parties bring them up and don't leave them out in the cold. Like we've seen this headline in the industry lately with people reporting saying like, oh, this game's been announced and it's coming to Xbox, PS4, PC, blah, blah. And instead of just leaving Switch off, they make a point to say not coming to Switch. Yeah. That message needs to stop as an industry. That's just not needed. When PS4 gets an exclusive title, nobody's running it's not on Xbox. It's just this is exclusive to PS4. That mentality, Nintendo needs to get rid of that, whether it's partnering with the third parties to make sure that that's not the message going across. They need some more surprises. Mario X Rabbids is going to be big. I think that's going to be a great announcement, but I think they need one or two more wild cards. I don't think any stuff we talked about earlier, your Paydays, your Skyrim, that's not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Content needs to keep going strong. Like you said, I don't think we're worried about a drought yet. But yeah, it's a very real concern for Nintendo fans right now because, Wii U went strong for a good year or two, even on their first party titles, and then it started slowing down. So I don't think this E3 is even going to be a concern, but I'd like to see a lineup, even if it's stuff that's coming in 2018 or late 2018, that's fine. Keep that message going. Sony's been touted by many places, not everybody, as winning, quote unquote, the last couple E3s because of every game they throw at you. Some with no date, some with dates 2 years later, but people are still happy about that. If Nintendo is able to do the same type of thing, people are still going to be excited.
More Fizamec.
Did you guys see the EA news from their investors call?
Yes.
Yeah. They said that they were surprised. I mean, everybody is surprised by the Switch momentum. And if you read blogs and stuff, people are lauding it as the great success. It's not a great success yet. We're talking like 3 million units.
It's still really early.
Wii U, it's like 30% of Wii U's lifetime sales in like 3 months. That's a lot. So I think there's momentum there, and I think people have them interested. So I think in EA's case, as I was talking to Mo, and he mentioned this, and I want to make sure I get it in here for him, is it possible we get Madden coming with FIFA? I think Madden's a big deal for Switch. Because if you think about like really good Nintendo systems, typically they really have like propped up with sports titles all the way back to the 64, the GameCube, the Wii. Like they have good sports titles. The Wii U really didn't have good sports titles. They really only had Madden. They only one Madden and one NBA game. Like those are really bad ideas. So I think, and obviously with the Switch and what it does portably, a Madden, even if it's a ported version of an Xbox One game, that's still the best portable Madden that's ever been made. I mean, like that by far, like this is trouncing, like the Madden experience on Vita, for example. So I think that would be a big hit. I mean, I don't want to say it's going to sell gangbusters, but I think it would really do a lot for the library and the impression. for people that are going to buy a Switch this fall, if they walk into a GameStop and they're like, oh, I want to play Mario, I think having a Madden on the shelf will go a long way.
I agree. So I think I can summarize my whole thoughts with 4 words. Let Nintendo be Nintendo. Continue going with your message. Don't try and be something different. Have a fun, lighthearted direct that everybody universally loves, whether you want to say, oh, they should be there on stage or not. People still love the directs. Mm-hmm. Do that, and they will, quote unquote, not necessarily win, but they'll have a successful E3. And that's really all that matters, because regardless of who won, okay, so Sony may have, quote unquote, won the last 2, but guess what? Xbox One sales have caught up drastically to PS4. So, okay, if that's the case, then why is there still not like a 75% gap between the two of them? It's catching up. So do that, and you'll be successful. So I think that probably brings up everything we should bring up for this. So before we kind of go to our outros and plugs, everybody, so this is the first of many episodes you'll have coming over the next month and a half, 2 months at this point. If you were around last year, you kind of know what to expect from us, but we're going to bring it to a bigger scale. And if you're new, buckle your seatbelts, man. You're going to get a lot of content thrown at you fast and furious from all different angles, from all different perspectives. So this obviously was the Nintendo pre-show. You're going to get the same thing from our Sony guys, and you're going to get the same thing from our Xbox guys. And as more surprises coming closer and closer to E3. So make sure you stay tuned to the website, playsomevideogames.com. Tell some friends if you got people who are interested in what's going on at E3. We really appreciate you if you continue to spread that message. We've seen our audience grow and grow and grow, and we absolutely love it. So we appreciate the support and love. If you have any questions or comments you want to send over our way, send them over to the email address podcast@playsomevideogames.com. Jason, anything you want to plug before we leave?
We have a good collaborative piece on the Nintendo Switch out on the website right now. We call it our Nintendo Switch, a 2-month reflection. So you kind of get a good staff opinion on what our thoughts are on the Nintendo Switch 2 months in. I mean, yeah, it's targeted at people maybe that are already on board, but also maybe people that are still on the fence, and maybe you missed out because you just weren't sold, or maybe the supply chain failed you. This is a good little way that you can get caught up and get all of our thoughts at once on this nifty little piece of technology.
Awesome. And where can people find you if they want to follow you?
Oh, I am on the Twitterverse. I am there at JW Lacey. I post a lot of silly things and maybe some awesome knots talk. So there you go.
You want to tune in for that. Absolutely. And if you follow him now, you can get some epic beard pictures too. So
that's right. Beard and baby. I mean, what more could you want?
B&B.
It's my life.
Sir Donnie.
You can find me on Twitter at Playing Nintendo. Come visit us on the site, playsomevideogames.com. We brought on new staff members, Caroline and Fiona, and they're going to start writing for us. And you should see stuff coming from them soon. In the article that Jason mentioned is Caroline's first piece up for the site, and I'm very excited to have the new staff members on board. Additionally, we adopted new site roles, which are published on the site, which got us accepted into Open Critic from some hard efforts put forth by our emperor in charge, Nathan. So we're very excited about that. All the stuff's coming into the site, and it'll all pave the way for E3. And all those plans, as Kevin's already alluded to, will be foretold for you in the next few episodes.
Exactly. And I like how, big thank you to Nathan for taking care of that for us. That was great. We've been trying to do that for a while now. But I like how Donnie mentions is we have all new roles, and they post on the website, and then proceeds to give Nathan a fake role that's not his actual role for the website.
Dude, you know me. I'm just the roles.
Know your role. I'll stop there for your old school WWE fans. So yeah, that's it. Follow the website, email us, follow us Twitter at PSVG. Make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/playsomevideogames. You can actually rate us on there now too. It's a new feature on Facebook. So if you're following us and you go there, you can see a little star rating. Please, go ahead and click that. Let us know how we're doing. As I mentioned before, make sure you continue telling a friend. You can watch the show live now on youtube.com/playsomevideogames. So if you're listening and you think, let me see what these guys actually look like and see if they're really as organized as they are, and you'll quickly find out we're not that good looking. But it's okay. You can watch us anyway and comment live, and we'll try and keep that chat going as we are interacting with you on the show, as Jason did tonight. But more importantly, more than anything, boys and girls, remember to never stop gaming.